Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Disaster Simulator, also occasionally referred to as Oxygen Not Included, which is a silly name as far as I'm concerned because I usually find far more creative ways than mere oxygen deprivation to put my dupes out of their misery. So, first up, I think we shall simply just have a nice little survival game on a basic planet, I think, just to get back into the swing of things. And after that, I will let you, my not at all sadistic viewers, vote which planet I'll be on next. Oh my. I mean, these look... what is that? A Nutella planet. Well, at least I won't have any problems with food, I suppose. This one has snot in it. This is just a dead rock. This appears to be some form of resort, I suppose, with all of the fire. And this one has warpstone, which is good. I like warpstone. Humans occasionally don't, but I, by and large, like warpstone. So, without further ado, let us get into it, shall we? And here we are with our beginning 3 duplicants. Porker, Lindsay, and Borker. Lindsay, because she's very, very special, and I can't actually rename her. I do not exactly know why. Strong, independent female, I guess? Maybe that's the button. Huh. Nah, I like my previous theory. So, we have avoided the bad ones. I've re-rolled a few times, because I like having a creative and a scientist, and the last one can be a little bit of anything. I'm not too worried. Creative because morals, and science because you just gotta have it. A yokel cannot do research errands, which I'm fine with. Stress reaction vomiter, fair enough. Can't do cooking, so that's also okay. Stress reaction ugly crier, not terrible. And destructive. Now, you don't necessarily want destructive, it's not great, but I consider it to be all right. And can't do doctor ends is also pretty fine. The ones you really don't want is stuff like bottomless stomach, so they'll eat all of your food. Or mouth breather, which takes up all of your oxygen. That too is very, very bad. I've awoken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface, but became trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it's imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. Alright. So, I figured I'd try a bit different of an editing style for this. I'll edit a bit more and I'll do like projects. So I'll tell you what I'm doing, then I'll go do it, and I'll talk a little bit about some subjects that I want to talk about that don't really necessarily warrant a full video, basically. And we'll see if you guys like it. So first and foremost, let's have a look at our position here. Oof, yeah, this really is not ideal. So I've got some copper down there. Copper is good. A little bit of oxalite. That's not bad. Some water up there. Yeah, my water is in a really less than ideal position. I can dump that into that with no real efforts, but this is in a very shitty position. It's also uncomfortably close to the algae zone and slime lung. Ooh, yeah, I should probably make using this up first a bit of a priority. So, step 1. Our environment around us looks alright. 31, so that's heading towards the... no, maybe not. Temperature's not too bad. Right. First things first, we need to find a place for our duplicants, who are not alive, by the way, to make the pee-pee. They do not poop. Which is why, by the way, I'm of the opinion that they do not live. Because the simple fact is, anything and everything that lives, poops. And since my duplicants do not poop, in that they only produce polluted water, I may safely infer that they are indeed not alive. And so, regardless of what horrible fate befalls them, I am in no way responsible whatsoever for breaching their human rights, because they don't have any. Right. We will start by making the peepees and the poo-poos. This direction seems nice. I need some copper anyway. I'll probably have some storage over there, actually. Yeah, I think... I'm a bit... No, I want it separate. I want it a little bit separate. So I think instead, we're gonna have it here. This is where I think we'll have it. Now, I do actually need to dig a little bit first, though. That's fine. We'll just dig a little bit in each direction. Right, there we go. Now, toilets first, and then beds. That's more or less my primary concerns, because they need a place to sleep, and they need a place to make their polluted water. Oh, hello. Is that dinner, I see? I do believe it is. Come here. And we've already supplemented our food rations. Very good indeed. Now that we've got a little bit of resources, I can also make a ladder, which will be very good. Oh, that's not entirely what I intended to do. Well, how about you just go away? There you go. And some tiles there. Now we shall have outhouses. I think, in fact, we'll place them a little bit further in. We'll have 2 outhouses here. That'll give us ability to have the service 2 duplicants at a time. And almost as important is a pair of wash basins. Now, I want to be a little bit careful about how I construct this, because you need to be very careful about how you construct your base initially. If you do that wrong, then it is going to haunt you for basically the entire game afterwards. It is very difficult to rectify mistakes you make early on without basically remaking your entire base, so you need to be a little careful. I'm planning for this to be my primary route of travel for the moment. I think this base will probably be vertical rather than downwards, because this leads straight into polluted water and slime lung, which we want to avoid if at all we can. Though we are going to have to sink a CO2 sink here for the carbon dioxide to pool at the bottom of our colony. That's very important. Otherwise, your poor little duplicants might end up, choking on their own gases, basically. Which is less than ideal. You don't necessarily want that. It can be useful on occasion, in case you have an unwanted duplicant, but we're not quite at that level just yet, hopefully. Speaking of, I want to start getting this. This should be what I deal with primarily. I want to empty this out because it's such a... It's in a very derpy position, so we'll get that doing as well. Get that doing. And there we are. So that is my basic needs taken care of. We have a couple of wash basins. Wash basins? Yeah, wash basins. And soon we will have access to water as well, so we can actually, get some water in them. That, I have been told, is useful if you wish to actually watch your hands. That'll be fine. It's going to waste a tiny amount of resources. It's going to fall in the water, but yeah, not exactly the worst thing ever. I might force them to do a bit of a double shift here. No, it's not the worst thing. They're probably going to get a hint of food poisoning because they didn't get the water up in time, but it's not the worst thing ever. Yeah. Probably. Hopefully. Possibly. A new day! New possibilities to fuck up. Well, we've got the wash basins filled up now. That's good. So we can actually clean our hands. What should be our next project then? Well, I think perhaps a little bit of research would not be the worst idea. Now that's going to require power, which means manual generators. Good old gerbil wheels. Now those, if I remember correctly... No, decor plus 10, really? Really? Ah, so they don't decrease decor anymore. Well, that's nice. In that case, I wouldn't mind just having them right here. Although, before I do that, allow me first and foremost to get just a little bit more space here. And we'll have... Is that a bit too close to that? I can't actually dig that. That's nice and hard for the moment. It's hard. It's too hard. Okay. There. That'll be my... Oh, shit, slime. Oh, yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. That's slime. No, we don't want that. Ooh, okay. That's going to affect the nearby ones as well. Shoot. Shoots. Okay. I was going to make this into my primary, like, air duct, but that's not actually as fantastic an idea as I'd originally hoped. Alright. It's less separation than I would want, but it will hopefully be about enough. Uproot that. Yeah, it's ideal? No, but it'll work. One hopes. So the primary idea of this is to find somewhere where the carbon dioxide can go. Since it is heavier than air, it will naturally tend to go towards the bottom of your base. Now, I will, in addition, make a couple of openings here, because they can skip over one opening. And I'll dig it out to get a little bit more in and out. I mean, normally I would dig a large vent here, which would be my primary route of travel, and also a nice big canal to get oxygen up and down, which was somewhat fucked over by that slime there. Instead, we'll probably try and construct one over here, but I don't want to weaken these walls too much either, because that's just sand. That's not going to hold back the water at all. Oof, I am really going to have to think long and hard about how and where I'm going to relocate this water, because it is in a very, very bad position, really. Speaking of positioning, I also need somewhere to make storage bins. So that's decored in a radius for 2 tiles. Okay, so... No, not like that. Like that. That should be more than enough storage for now. There we are. That should be fine. Good. Okay, our colony has some problems early on, mostly geographical in nature, but, it's not... Motherfucker. Slime. Right. Stop. God damn it. Slime. Slime! Slime! Alright. Allow me to recompute. Alright, having come to the realization that going downwards is a dreadful idea, which we should ignore at any cost, I'm gonna head upwards instead. It'll give me, look, it give me a nice little shine bug as well. Look at all these plants, all this food. Up is clearly the correct direction. Never mind the fact that there is slime up there as well. Oh, polluted water. Well, polluted water is not a bad thing. Polluted water can eventually be made into clean water, and clean water is a lovely thing. Oh, yes, indeed. But we do definitely want to get some storage up and running, because it isn't starting to be a problem yet, but duplicants do tend to get a little bit antsy around, actually, not all, not organic at the moment, or cultivatable soil. Because they tend to put stupid things in these. Very, very stupid things. There we go. That's much better. Now, that'll allow them to clean up a little bit, which I think we'll have that be our next step. I'm going to take a moment, just clean up my base a hint, then I'll move on to some research. There, that'll make the base a hint cleaner. Now, a duplicant. So what's that? Oh, care package. This is new. I haven't seen this before. Joya seed. The jumping Joya. I don't know what that is, which makes me both intrigued and hesitant. What else have we got? Ma, caregiver, increased medicine, 7 agriculture, that's useful. Small bladder, that's not terrible. Vomitus also okay, so Mima might be an option. Ruby, interior decorator, I got one of those, that's 5. Strength, 7 strength is not bad. More carrying capacity, not a bad thing. Yokel, that's fair. Bin, oh, no. No. Fuck you, fatty. May construction athletic caregiver, loud sleeper, vomiter. Do I have the food and oxygen to support a duplicant right now? I mean, several agriculture is very nice. It's really good. That is solid. That's very solid. Yes, we will have this. What shall be your name? Mima is silly. You are a grey-haired yellow duplicant. There are no white men in space, by the way, an oddity of this game. There are only brown, black, and yellow people, which... interesting, but okay. Blah, blah, blah. Blah? Blah. I can't come up with anything clever at the moment, so blah it is. Sorry, blah. You are the victim of a momentary lack of anything, essentially. Okay, agriculture's nice. Speaking of agriculture, we'll hollow out this area for research because we do need to start actually planting something to eat soon. Otherwise, the duplicant population will start falling rather drastically, which is not ideal at this early point in development. Not ideal at all, actually. We have made a small vent here, which is going to have to be expanded upon, but again, I'm in a really odd position here where I'm kind of boxed in. I don't want to go over here because of slime. I can't go over here because I don't want to move my water because, well, I don't know where to move it to, frankly, just yet. I mean, moving over here is not necessarily a terrible idea, but until I get pumps, I have no way to actually do that. So, you know, it would work, but I can't do it yet. So, let us set about our research problems. Try and fix that, shall we? So we're going to need a research station, of course. How's that on decor? Decor neutral, I believe. Actually, it does create a little bit of heat, but that's not the worst thing ever. I'm going to place it about there. Give me a little bit of speed. Speed? English. Little words. Language. Space! There we go. Right. See, it's not that hard. A little bit of space on the side there. And as for power... these are now neutrals. That's not too bad. And then we'll lay the power wire, which is not decor neutral, up there. Now that'll leave a little bit of wiring exposed, but it's not a lot. It's fine. It's not a huge deal. And of course, we can and will hide these in tiles. Alright, as for the research, our most pressing concern at the moment is going to be food. So meal preparation is going to be the order of the day. As for priorities, I do believe I had a researcher. I do indeed. Let's just down prioritize that for... what am I even doing? I don't even know. For everybody else... there you go, researching. And for farming, that will be her, and preferably no one else. Because she has an increased chance of gaining seeds, which gives me a much better chance of actually maintaining my food production, of course. Which is rather vital. Now, I figured I'd also use this series as a bit of a place where I can talk about stuff that isn't necessarily worthy of a full video in and of themselves, but I still do want to talk about. Today's topic is going to be Facebook and how they're currently being sued by Laura Loomer. Was that her name? Or was it Laura Loomer? I don't know. See, this is the things I would research if I actually was going to do a video about it, but... oh, shit. Batteries. Perhaps batteries would be a good idea, Arch. Yes, perhaps. Perhaps. Now, those are not decor neutral, but they're not dreadfully ugly. They're just, they're a tiny bit of an eyesore, sure, but they're not horribly ugly. It's just fine. Why would I do that? Why would I waste so much copper? There you go. Much better. Much better. Right, until that's built, how about you don't run on the hamster wheels? That'd be lovely. Thank you very much. Because I got access to some of the court documents recently from Russia Today, of all places. Like, I don't want to go to Russia Today for my news. I really, really don't want to, because, as the name implies, they do have some tiniest hint of something that might be, by doubtful minds, considered a bias. Just a tiny little bit. But, well, they're reporting on it, and pretty much nobody else is. So, you know, needs must when the devil drives and all that. Speaking of needs must and the devil and everything, I do believe that I am getting to the point. I mean, this is going to be a bit derp for the decor. It's not. This isn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but I want. The decor minuses are fairly negligible at this point. I can easily make up for it with with a little bit of decor items later on, and I do need an oxygen, and I want it down here so that I can continue to force the carbon dioxide down lower and lower. My eventual goal is to create an algae farm down here to start eating away at the carbon dioxide as well. Anywho, back to the whole FBI court case, not the FBI, Facebook. So Facebook is being sued. Oh shit. Yeah, that cannot be there. That cannot be there, because then my duplicants are going to do dumb shit. Very dumb shit. I mean, this base layout is bad as fuck, but it'll have to do for now, due to primarily geographical reasons. So she's suing Facebook because they took her down, and the reason they gave was because she was dangerous. That was just, she was kind of an extremist, radical, stuff like that. And she then argues that this is defamation because they have now publicly labeled her as dangerous, which, you know, that's not a bad argument in my opinion. The Facebook's argument is fascinating in that they are arguing that since they are a publisher, which means they are allowed to do this. It's free speech, basically. You cannot hold a publisher responsible for not wishing to for wishing not to release somebody's thoughts or somebody's messages, which is entirely correct. Is nobody gonna, you know, build that done? Because that'd be really handy if you could, please, yes? Thank you very much. Right. We will run this. I don't like running the Oxidized Diffuser because it's not particularly efficient, but it's fine. So, they were arguing, since we are a publisher, we have editorial rights over the content, and you therefore cannot force us to release anything because of free speech, which is entirely correct. Like, you can't force a publisher to release something they do not want to release, because they have editorial responsibility. And if they release something, that also means that they take responsibility for it. This is one of the elements of the Safe Harbor Acts that protected platforms against this by differentiating between platforms and publishers. But, of course, as the eagle-eyed amongst you may have already spotted, that would seem to indicate that Facebook thinks it's a publisher, in which case Facebook is legally responsible for everything released on Facebook. Huh. That seems like a rather bad idea, doesn't it? That means that you could go on Facebook right now in Britain and say, kill the Jews, and they would be legally responsible for that. They will have then, legally speaking, committed an act of hate crime, and would be legally responsible in the UK. Because they're a publisher, and publishers, of course, also have to take into consideration the local law. So, they don't want that. In fact, they have been vehemently saying that they are not a publisher precisely to avoid this. Odd. So now they're using this as a defense in a legal case. But in addition to this, they are also saying that they are a platform. In fact, they use the two practically in the same sentence, where on the one hand, they state that we cannot be held legally responsible for what was the, so the precise thing I think it said was, this case should be dismissed because if it is not, then it will discourage platforms to continue to moderate and remove dangerous and hateful content. See, now they mentioned platform. Just before this, in their previous case, they mentioned that they were a publisher. Now, I've seen a lot of speculation going around the interwebs on this, talking about how, Facebook fucked themselves now. They've defined themselves as a publisher. This is going to bite them in the ass. This is going to really screw them over. Because as a publisher, as I mentioned, they're legally responsible for the stuff on their thing. And you would think so. You would think that this would be a huge legal problem for them, because now they themselves have admitted that, yeah, we not only can, but should be held legally responsible for these things. But here's the big problem. Speaking of big problems, I really need the upgraded research thing, and I can't actually find it, which I am very sad about. Where are you? Is there a research station? Oh, there it is. Advanced research. Why didn't that pop up then? Huh, odd. There you go. Because, you see, Facebook has actually done this before. They have argued cases previous to this where they have defined themselves as both a publisher and a platform, and they have gotten away with it. And in all due likelihood, the simple reason why they've gotten away with it and keep getting away with it is because a lot of these judges simply do not quite understand what is going on here. I'm going to disable this building, by the way, because I haven't built a place to dump poisonous water just yet, which is a really bit of an issue. And so, when the lawyer goes like, oh, we're a publisher now, but now we're a platform, the judge doesn't have the qualifications or the understanding to realize that these things are mutually exclusive, or at the very least should be, because they are subject to two very different interpretations of the law, which is why they've gotten away with it again and again, and they will get away with it this time as well, unless there is now pressure from political forces, Ted Cruz amongst others, pushing towards changing the Safe Harbor Act and firming up the legislation that differentiates publishers and platforms. So it is possible that this time they will get caught in the act, but don't be too hopeful about it, because as mentioned, they have done this before, and if I'm being entirely honest, the pessimist inside of me says that they'll probably get away with it again. Now, I'm going to take some time here to finish up some of these basic errands, and I'm going to plan a sewage dump. That's going to be my next big objective here, I think, to get some fertilizer ready. Oh god, we are getting really short on food, aren't we? Is there anything I can do about that in the short term? Sadly, not necessarily. I can harvest some of this, but that's about it. Right, okay, change of plans. I'm going to have to make an improvised farm real quick. That's going to have to be my first priority, actually, here. I don't necessarily want to have the... Well... Like, this is not unnecessarily an issue, because once I get the correct tiles, I can still dump this through. I just need to build up a little bit of basically a sluice here, which is why I've left a bit of space here, because I'm planning to have a sluice here when I need it, which is why I didn't really want to build a farm here. I mean, I can move it, but... Okay, we'll do it over here. This is not at all where I wanted it, but I'll have to put it somewhere, so... Again, needs must when the devil drives. The devil seems to be driving an awful lot when I play this game, doesn't it? This is why I refer to this as Disaster Management Simulator, more so than anything else. Okay, disaster management mode. So, we need the fertilizers to get the food moving, which I'd forgotten about. But to get that moving around safely, what I think we're going to want first and foremost is... There we go, disable the bottler. We're going to build a compost area here. And a key part of that area is going to be a so-called water lock, where I'm going to create a water surface here to ensure that the nastiness that will be on this side will not go on the other side. Luckily, there's actually some oxalite over here, which makes this area actually kind of ideal for what I'm going to do here, because it'll allow the little bit of oxygen to be filled up. So, we'll make sure that this is a fairly high priority. The compost is ready there. We can get some compost going fairly quickly as well. We'll have to wait until one cycle, which, oh, yeah, I think I'll be able to squeeze by, but I am cutting this far closer than I would like to. Printing pod, yes, we will not be printing any more duplicants. I think we will have this, whatever this is. Curative tablets? Sure, why not? I'm sure that's useful. Not as... Did you just eat one of those? No, you didn't. Never mind. I don't know what those are, but I'm assuming they're medicine. And medicine is good. As we all know, medicine is positive. Medicine has been created for our common values and blah, 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 and blah. Now, please, sleepy lessy, more fixy, yes? I mean, you could blame my management skills for this currently somewhat desperate situation, but I don't think that is entirely fair, frankly. Also, turn that off before it eats literally all of my algae. Thank you very much. Right. Is that enough for my waterlock? I think... No, it's not enough. We're gonna need another bottle or two. This will be for the wastewater. We'll just empty that down here. Right, do we need one more bottle, or is that going to be enough? No, I think we're going to need one more bottle in all due likelihood. Yes, definitely one more bottle. Probably 2 or 3 more, actually. Oof. Greedy little waterlock. But the waterlock is better. Like, it will piss off the duplicants a bit. They'll be sad because they'll get soaking wet while going through here, which is unfortunate. It also requires, like, 1.2 tons of water, which is a fair bit to complete the waterlock, but... At this early point in the game, it is really handy because it means that all of that poisonous air that is generated both by the poisoned water and by the compost, etc., all gets placed in that one single area, which I think is very useful. Do continue to fill that thing. I want the water lock up fairly quickly, and I believe... that should be it. Disable auto bottle, all... There we go. That's my water lock done. Great. Again, yes, it'll piss off the duplicants a little bit, but it's not too bad. Right. I can enable this building again. And hopefully we can empty out one of these fairly quickly, so we don't have to have our duplicants running around not pooping for a while, because they tend to get a little bit antsy if they are not allowed to... oh, sorry, excuse me, I forgot. They're not alive, and therefore they do not poop. Silly me. Very silly indeed. Now, also, enable that again. And in fact, I think we will change our research focus a bit. We need light. That's what we need. We need light. Light. Do we have light? There we go. Interior decor. That's what we need. We'll get that because once we have light, and I'll actually prepare a couple of light platforms here. That'll do. Then I'm going to place some lights here. And I'm going to have the light illuminate an algae farm down here. Which that, along with the carbon dioxide, will be the most efficient way for us to create oxygen early on. The oxygen diffuser is great in that it creates large amounts of oxygen quickly, which on occasion is very useful. And it's also great for controlling the environment in a closed-off room. Like... Originally, I would prefer to have my farm in a closed-off environment, simply because then I can manage the atmosphere inside of it precisely for when I want to make something like the bristle blooms. But, well, I was a little bit in a panic there, so that'll have to wait until I can make one up here, I think. And we'll probably empty out this water first also before we worry about that. Because right now, we're in a decent position. We've got our research going. We've got a pee-pee house. We've got some wash basins to decrease the spread of germs a little bit. And we're working on our algae farm. So, it's not that bad. Food is... ugh. But I think we'll be ready to get our first batch of mealwood plants in before that becomes a problem. The microbe musher is a little bit ugly to look at. Right, that's fine. There we go. That's the novice research. Okay. Then we will... furniture. We will... Ceiling light. There we go. And we will make, like... Four algae farms? Is that enough for now? I can't remember how many you needed for specific things anymore, but we'll go with 4 for now, and then we'll adjust as needed. That will also start devouring the carbon dioxide, which is vital because you can see it's starting to rise uncomfortably high at this point, and carbon dioxide poisoning, whilst being a fairly gentle way to go, well, I don't want to go. So, gentle or not, I don't want it just yet. Now, the microbe musher is in a radius of, what was it? 3. Right, I think... I don't really want to have an improvised kitchen over there just yet. I can have it here. This is not... I mean, that's not the worst place to put it. Bear in mind that I do need to keep this clear. So, we'll do it like that. And we'll have a microbe musher there. Oh, this base is far more compact than I like it. Far more compact than I like it. Oh, yeah, that's a bit of overflow, but that's actually entirely fine. There's no problems with that, because the algae will actually just take that water now, so I don't have to water them myself as often. So that is actually 100% okie dokie. Now, I probably do want to mop that up, though. There you go. Oh! Hello? I do not know what this is, but I am intrigued. This is new. I haven't played this game in absolute ages. What is this? Really? Oh, this is the... I recognize that. Yeah. This system. I know this one. Okay, so you're my you're my farmer. Yes, well, we'll give you farmer. That sounds good. Skills. Who are you? A Borker. You like farming too, but you're carrying. Porker. You're my artist, so we will do art on you. Lindsay, you're my science girl, so advanced researcher, definitely. And Borker, what's your food? Cuisine 0. Ooh, plus 400 kilograms of carrot. That's a lot. That's a real lot. But no, we can get a cook. We can get a cook. 400 kilograms of carrying. Oof, really useful. Actually, let me get just a few mush bars. Mush bars are not good food. You don't want to be using mush bars, but I am just a little bit afraid of my food situation right here, so I'm going to get a little bit of that. Right, Borker, you are, for the moment, going to be my cooking person, okay? So we're going to put you on high priority on that. Because my food is not amazing. Oh, actually, I can get some mealwood. Okay, just 3 then. 3 will be enough for now, because I can actually harvest this, which I absolutely will and shall. There. That's a little bit of food as well. And have we got lice loaf? Yes, indeed. Forever. We shall have our food. Food. Where was our food again? Consumables, there it is. Right, nobody shall eat the mealworms, because that is a waste of resources. We shall only eat the mealworm loaves. Yes. Actually, where the hell is it even? It might be because I haven't made any yet. That might be it. In fact, that's probably it. Right. But like I was saying, we have stabilized a fair bit. I'm actually relatively happy with where we are now. Cycle 9, I would have preferred to have this in a better spot. But then again, I would prefer my base to be in a better spot, so only so much I can do about that. The carbon dioxide is being eradicated very nicely, and we're creating oxygen as well. That will push it up for a little while, but I think, and it is far higher than I would like it, that's going to make it uncomfortable for them to sleep, which is going to derp their morale a little bit. Not ideal, but it's not the worst thing ever. It is a temporary inconvenience to sleep in an area saturated by carbon dioxide. Now, granted, in reality, if these were living creatures, that temporary inconvenience would be a permanent one in that it would be fatal. But these are minor details of relative inconsequential nature that we shall simply just fucking ignore because, well, it's fine. It's actually fine, okay? Not a problem. Oh, and look, lie slow. Be distracted by the fact that it's basically a bunch of worms squished together by a literal squishing device. I'm glad that my duplicants are not actual humans, because if I was forcing real people to eat that, I might actually feel a little bad about myself, so I'm glad that they are not. Now, speaking of feeling bad, we do need to get some fine arts going. Our morale is holding. I'm honestly kind of surprised of how well it's holding out so far, but we are going to want a little bit of morale boosting, I do believe. Some sculptures. That's also why I've been very deliberately keeping some areas open here, both so I can install a pole for easier travel, and also so I can place down some statues here and there. The fact that I basically don't have an oxygen canal makes me worried that's going to be an issue in the later game, but, well, it's an issue I'm simply just going to have to bloody deal with. Do I have any polluted? I don't yet, so that's fine. No polluted liquids just yet. We do have our compost. It is going to fill this place with polluted gas, which, you know, isn't fantastic. Organic is the fertilizer here. So polluted dirt. There we are. Yes, polluted dirt. Ah, a duplicant. What a nice way to finish off the episode. What do we have here then? Care package. Ooh, that's a lot of food. That's a pufflet! That's actually really useful. You can get these here? That's actually genuinely super useful, because these eat polluted air and turn them into slime, I believe, which is actually a really valuable late-game resource. Not valuable, you know. That's actually really cool. That is absolutely awesome. But I don't need one just yet. In fact, slime right now would be downright detrimental. Do I have a cook? Because I would like a cook. I do not. In which case, I think I will just take the food. I mean, that's 4,000 calories of mushroom. That's really nice. I wonder if there's any limitations to these care packages. If they scale or not. That'll be interesting to find out. Yes, the gentle embrace of carbon dioxide. Don't worry, Borka. You'll be fine. Probably. Maybe I should actually move her bed. Maybe. Until next time, have a good day. And stay away from the carbon dioxide. It's not actually good for you. At all.